Hi everyone, so the Monstropolis boss is a real git. He's pretty tough, and if you don't move fast enough, he will just make you pay. So I'm going to talk you through the strategies that I used to be able to take him down, and hopefully that'll help you out in the process. I've not included the entire fight, but I've included large amounts of it in this video, and if it helps you out, drop us a like below. But here we are, straight in on the action, and he starts out with these little fireballs, and I kind of started out, maybe I could get it with water and that would help, but I found that really slowed me down and I got hit, and this is by far his most damaging move. So he will just keep firing on through you, and he's pretty much taken me out almost instantly. And then, obviously, you get a little bit of a save from, I think that was maybe Goofy. But then these fireballs come after you as well, and it just makes it really difficult, especially with this move. So I'm going to show you how I eventually managed to get away from that, and you can see me there. Essentially, when I fire into the air for the first time, if he catches me in the air, I hit jump and then dodge, and I can move out of the way. And that's how I get away from his main move, his main kind of like headbutting move. And then he goes into this phase, so this is his next phase, and again you can see I'm on low health at the moment, but just about making it through. And you essentially just take out all of the hands that come up out of the ground, and once you've taken all of them out, you'll be able to get in and do more damage on the Monstropolis boss. But until you take out the hands, you can't get in a single hit, even though he's right there, which is a little bit frustrating. But there you go, you can see I've taken out all of the hands now, and I can finally get in a little bit of a special, which did a little bit of damage. So there you go, I'm back to getting in some hits. But before I get in too much damage, it's automatically gone into the next phase, and this is also really challenging. Now you can try and go toe to toe with him instantly and just jump up and try and get in your hits, but you'll find yourself being pushed back by this air blast, which is really frustrating. So you kind of can get hit both by the main monster and everything else that's around you. So you've got the hands that are coming out for you, you've got the flames that are being thrown from the rest of the hands, so it's kind of just really challenging. So I'm going to take you through each of those phases now to show you different ways to be able to get through them a little bit easier without taking quite as much damage. And that's the main thing in terms of making it through this. Yes, it's really important to get in the hits as much as you can, but the biggest challenge is not getting hit yourself. So once this phase is over, you can see I'm getting in a few hits now because he's kind of gone beyond the phase where he'll bat his ear wings and push you back. And once you get past that, you can get in some hits, and he'll go back to this normal phase where he's firing out these balls. And if you just keep on rolling out of the way of those, you should stay out of the way of them. And anytime you see it kind of throw out the little clouds that you saw, that's a really good chance. If you can run around them, you should be able to get in a lot of damage. However, he suddenly goes into that phase, and it's back to rolling out of the way. So when he gets you in the air, it's really important to do that whole jump first and then dodge before you get away from him. If you're on the ground, it's just a case of run around and dodge to not get hit by this, and as soon as he goes back to throwing out the fireballs, you can go in and do some damage. So you can see I'm getting a little bit closer to finishing him off, but he's got so many different moves and different ways to hit you. So there you kind of think you can just go in and do a special, and he gets you. However, if you do the jump and dodge, you should be able to get away from the majority of those hits. So again, he's thrown out the rain, so you can get in a few good smashes while he's up close, and that leaves me with just 2 bars to take down. And then he's going back in to this phase with the hands. Now, like I did earlier, I kind of tried to go toe to toe with him, and I kind of did the same to begin with in this, but as it turns out, I found that I took way less hits if I just kind of ignored the main boss and spent more time after everybody else and then just kind of rolled out of the way of stuff to reduce the amount of times I actually got hit. And then it naturally gets to a phase where you can get in close to the boss itself, which I'm getting close to now. So again, just kind of like dodging out of the way of this as much as I can. So this isn't my best run of this. I'm going to show you my best run of this a little bit later on, but I wanted to show you different ways to try to get in your damage. So you can see I've tried lots of different ways to get close and only just gotten in a couple of hits right at the end. For me, that whole section is as much as you can. If you can avoid it, then do so. And I'm going to show you how to avoid getting hit, like literally pretty much all the way through that little section with the hands. So it's back to this phase, and it's back to dodging to get past it and getting in close and doing some damage. And I'm kind of doing a better job of that in this. But you can see he's coming after you again, and you've just got to keep on dodging, keep rolling, keep moving. And if you can keep on moving, then you can just about stay in this fight. And if you can get behind it as well, you can do more damage because it takes it longer to actually react to you. And with everybody else that's fighting in the background, you just should be in a better position. So this is my best attempt at this section. And you can see I'm essentially just rolling. Nothing's hitting me. I'm not taking any damage. I'm just rolling. I'm staying out of the way of everybody. And you've got to stay far enough back from the main boss to stop him from doing that move, which will push you into some of the smaller enemies. Now there's another little section later on, I think, where I do this entire section without getting a single hit. So you can see I'm doing pretty well staying in this game. He does the winds a few times. There we go. And he's going to change in a little bit so that you can get in some hits. So now he's stopped doing the wind. Now I should be able to get in and do a little damage myself. So it's just jumping in, get in a few hits. But that whole section is really annoying because as soon as you do eventually get in some hits, he almost instantly changes into this phase where you've got to go back to the air dodge and trying to get out of the way of the fireballs. But you can try and use some specials to try to stop yourself getting some of the hits. So you can see I missed maybe a couple of those as a result of using the special. But for me, that's definitely not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is just to dodge. Kind of round it as much as you can and get in the hits where you can. But even then, because he's doing this whole like charge thing so much, it's so easy just to get yourself into a bad position. So always be ready to roll out of the way. And then you can come back around, get in your hits, and you can see I'm down to the last section of the Monstropolis boss. So now I just need to roll out of the way, and I'll probably transition into one of the other phases in the not too distant future. If you see any of the fireballs coming in your direction, it's a good idea to dodge. Now this is one of the other sections where you've just got to take out all the hands, and it's good to use kind of some of your form changes to kind of get in some hits. So I end up hitting up Rage in a little bit, but I'm just kind of waiting to see whether or not somebody gives me some health, which they did do. So then now I can spin on around, wait for the fireballs to go, and then I can hit up my Rage just before it disappears. And do some damage. I was kind of just waiting to be able to do some damage on the main Monstropolis boss, but it didn't let me. But that does give me a better chance of taking out these hands and then going on to save some of my rage form to be able to do some damage on the main boss when he wakes up after I take out all these hands. So he's back in the mix, and now I can do some bigger damage on him. However, you can see he's doing this move, which is stopping me from doing too much in the way of damage, which is kind of annoying. But you've just got to roll with the punches, spin out of the way, and then when he's back on the ground, you can do a little bit of damage. So then spinning around, getting in some hits on its side. These specials, for me, it rarely does anything beneficial. It's pretty much just a waste. If anything, I recommend never using that in this fight whatsoever. So this is the section that I was talking about earlier, where I literally just kept on rolling, stayed far enough back from that kind of like the wind move with its flapping ears, and just kept spinning. So I'm far enough back from him that the wind move can't get me. I keep moving in like a horseshoe movement in front of it, far enough away from it to do any damage, and essentially I just roll it out and wait for the opportunity to actually do some damage. So you can see there I got in a few hits, but it's still a little bit early, so I need to go back to the rolling, give myself an opportunity to wait for it to get to the next phase, and then I should be able to get in a little bit closer and finish it off. And that is it for one of the most grueling boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 3. That is how to take it down. It's a big part of it is about kind of avoiding its rush move. If you can avoid that as much as possible, then you should be able to see it through. Hopefully that helps you out, and if it does, drop us a like below. You can also subscribe to the channel with the links on the left hand side, and hit that bell button if you want to get notifications for all of our videos as they come out. You can check out the rest of our series for Kingdom Hearts 3 with the links on the right hand side. Leave any comments below, and I'll catch you next time.